Graded versus non-graded Pokemon cards. The battle between passion and value. Which is best for your collection and why? In today's video, I will be going over some of the positives and negatives of both. I will not be saying one is definitely better than the other, because I myself collect both. In front of us today, I have two of my favorite cards in my collection. On the left, we have an ungraded Japanese Holo Gengar from Skyridge, or Mysterious Mountain, which is the Japanese name for the set. And on the right, we have a PSA 8 First Edition Holo Dragonite from Fossil. Both are valuable cards regardless of whether or not they're graded or not, but why did I end up choosing to get these cards the way I did? The Gengar card is one of my favorite cards of all time and extremely rare and valuable, since it is not only a vintage Gengar card, but also a holo card from Skyridge. So when it came to finally adding one to my collection, I acquired it through the best deal I could find, which was in a lot with 8 other Gengar cards. This is a card that is extremely expensive when graded, so I knew that actually getting a graded one would cost way more than I wanted to spend, so I kept an eye out for some ungraded cards and finally landed on a good deal. When it comes to ungraded cards, I personally believe you are much more likely to stumble upon these deals because there is so much unknown when it comes to loose cards, especially if it is an older or vintage card. Things such as whitening, scratches, corners, centering, and overall condition of the card can all come into question. But because of that, you can sometimes find them at a great price. Yeah, they may not be in the best condition, but it comes down to whether or not you really want a nice card or just simply want to get your hands on your dream card by any means necessary. Take this Crystal Lugia for example. This is my favorite card of all time. Everything about it I absolutely love. The artwork, it being an e-reader card, it being a crystal card, and it just simply being Lugia. But you can see it is not in that great of condition at all. It has rips, scratches, and whitening all over it. I mean, look at the back of the card there, look at the corners, the whitening is just all over the card, and look at that big rip right at the top. But due to this condition, I managed to get it at an insanely cheap price. And if I were to try to get this card in a really nice condition, I would most likely have to sell other items in my collection to be able to afford it because of how expensive it is. I did not want to spend that kind of money on a nice graded one, so I found one in not so great condition at an affordable price because I wanted this card in my collection so bad, which I personally believe to be one of the main reasons to get ungraded cards compared to graded cards. Transitioning on now into graded cards, there is one main reason as to why many people collect them: their value. Graded cards are easy to buy and sell because there is a consistent standard when it comes to their price. Unlike ungraded cards where you have to worry about the condition and all those other factors previously mentioned, the graded card takes all of that worry away and provides you with exactly what you want. It provides a good avenue for those that look at Pokemon cards as more of an investment because it provides an easy, consistent way to keep track of its value. The reason as to why I got a PSA 8 of this Dragonite is because I wanted to have a graded version of one of those original staple Pokemon. Dragonite being the pseudo-legendary from Kanto, it being from the 3rd ever Pokemon TCG set, having the first edition stamp, and being one of my favorite Pokemon made getting this card graded rather than ungraded a no-brainer for me. First edition Gen 1 cards are some of the most valuable Pokemon cards of all time, and having this card as a PSA 8 makes it easy for me to keep track of its value, rather than having it ungraded and having to guess on what it's worth. Another major difference between the two is the ability to put your cards in a binder. I know a lot of people like to put all of their favorite cards in a binder and have them all there together so they can flip through the pages and look at them all. The thing is though, with graded cards, you obviously can't put them in a binder, which for some collectors may be the reason why they only collect ungraded cards. I personally like to have a lot of my favorite cards out on display, which is easy to do with graded cards because they are in a protective case and you do not have to worry about them getting damaged over time while sitting on a shelf. In the end though, collect whatever you like the most and don't worry about what anyone else says or thinks. It is your collection and it is meant to make you happy. For those that may have been wondering whether or not to collect graded or ungraded cards, I hope you found this video useful. And that is all for today. Let me know in the comment section down below whether or not you prefer collecting graded or ungraded Pokemon cards. Thank you all so very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and this is the Pokeplaya signing out.